All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. This is your host Delvin, and this is MESC Red Devils NCR. And big game, and for a big game, we obviously have the OG gang along with us. We have Ojas Bhai, we have Abhijit Bhai, and we have Sandeep Bhai with us on the stream. Hello, gentlemen. And I can look into your faces and see that y'all are super duper pumped, excited. I think adjectives will fall short to describe the feeling that we are going through currently. We are very close to the game. Feelings, emotions, everything running high. This is a high stakes game, and it is basically a straight shootout from here. It is a winner takes all. There are no do overs. There is no third leg, and without wasting much of time, Ojas bhai, let's just get into it. What are your thoughts about the game? How are you feeling as a fan entering into this game, and what are your expectations?
Yep. Um, Hello, everyone. And first of all, I would like to say something that Barcelona is a club I hate a lot, but the players they have are quite world class. For me, they have one of the best players playing for them. They have great midfield, which is two of them are absent for this, Pedri and Gavi. I'm a little bit positive, but we have remembering what Barca is capable of on any ground around the world. Uh, I will I will have that a thought that the game can go either way. But the way we played last week or the last time when we faced Barca, it was a very positive game. It was not what I was expecting, and I was so happy to be wrong. And United just were the better team that day, and we have to agree on that. They were the better team. They played much better with most of the players out. Now with good players coming back into the team, Sabitzer is coming back, Lisandro Martinez is coming back. That means Shaw shifts to the left back position, which makes our left side more lethal. Shaw and Rashford just are havoc to any defense around the world. So I'm having a positive vibe, but it's something that I will always remember with Barcelona is that it is a top team and we have to be very careful.
Yeah, I remember we were on the stream in the preview for the first leg game as well, and I remember a certain myself predicting the scoreline rather correctly. I said that the game would end in a 2-2
I
draw,
texted
and
in the group, Delvin
yeah,
bhai.
and guess I think the score did end 2-2 as well. Yeah, so but I'm not going to predict anything today. I think you all know why. Abhijit bhai, what are your thoughts entering the game? It is Kushagra in the comments basically has minced no words about the fact, saying that we need to win this game today. And yes, there are no two ways about it. We genuinely have to win this game. And with Ten Hag also speaking and making the right noises, all the players also making the right noises from United as far as their mindset is concerned towards the game. What are your expectations from this game, Abhijit bhai? What are your expectations?
एक्चुअली आई एम नर्वस एक्चुअली टुडे भाई दिल मेरे मुंह में आ गया है, ऐसा है एंड बिकॉज if you see a Champions League game last what at Anfield, what Real Madrid bashed Liverpool, and that same can happen to United because you never know. But looking at Javi's press conference and his tactics in last game and everything, I think he's prioritizing La Liga instead of Europa Liga. They don't want to you know go front. So I think it's a 50-50 game. But looking at that squad, they Pedri and Gavi, they definitely miss because Pedri, he's a calm and composed. He's control the midfield. Gavi brings that energy, that everything passion, everything in the attack. So both the players are missing, but they have a master of tacticians, one of the most best midfield in the decade, Sergio Busquets, back in the team, and they won't be missed. I would definitely say that Busquets is a very underrated player who we don't talk about him, and he's the best midfielder, and he coming into the team. He don't miss. Barcelona will control the game. Definitely midfield they have. Frankie will come in the attacks. Yes, but they do definitely miss some players in the wings attacks. they will have same. They are the best defenders in the Europe right now. The four Kunde, I think Christensen, Araujo, and Balde. They all are quick enough to have a high line and destroy the opposition team. So it's going to be a very very fascinating night for Old Trafford. Uh, on the positive sides of Manchester United, I would say we have Sabitzer back, we have Lisandro Martinez back, and this brings some even Anthony I think is trident up. So the three main players for United can come. Anthony, I think 50-50 we can say. We will see how it is, but it's going to be a fascinating game for all the fans.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also with John Treasure saying on, and he's already come. We've just started the stream, and John Treasure's already come up with a prediction saying that United will win 2-1 tonight. A very optimistic John. Lovely to see the energy. Thank you so much for joining the stream as well. So Sandeep bhai, let's talk about it. So. Now we know what the situation is. We know what is required of the side. It's win or bust at this point in time, and especially with the way that we are performing in the, we've come on the back of this fixture. Like, we've come on a good run, a very convincing result, a very satisfactory performance on Sunday. And the manager has also spoken and made all the right noises, speaking about he has a plan, he knows what he has to do, and what he feels is right to approach this game. What exactly do you believe is should be the right approach to the game? Because in the first leg, we did see that United started off a little slow. Took their time to get a foothold into the game, and once when they got the foothold in the game, they were clearly the better side for a vast majority of the game. Do you believe that at home, in front of a buoyant home crowd, do you believe that this is going to be the same? The approach will be the same, as in take your time, just gauge your opponents, gauge the surroundings, and then just go for the juggernaut? Or do you believe that United is just going to go hell for leather right from the opening whistle?
So, very good question actually, because I think what we learned from the first game at Camp Nou is we are fearless right now. Like, we are not afraid to go out and play them. And if we can do that at Spotify Camp, whatever it is, like Old Trafford should be easy. But I would not say match will be easy. I am saying doing it at Old Trafford would be easier. So I think two things we need to avoid. One is a slow start, and one is them conceding first. Them conceding first still doesn't bother me that much, but sorry, them scoring first. It still doesn't bother me that much, but we need to start a pace with them, because we cannot let them get a hold of the game in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Because if they do that, they might create spaces. Although we have Casemiro and Sabitzer to close them down, but I think it would be very uh, like it would be a good thing to be pragmatic in the first 5 minutes and attack them properly. Also, one more thing I would like to say is that when we are defending against Barcelona, it's very important that we pick up the spaces that the others are the whoever has the ball, the others who are running around. We have to be very careful and mindful of the spaces they are creating, because they are very good at the tiki taka and the Barca way of playing. So we have to be very mindful of that, and I think Ten Hag has that in the back of his mind. Agnidev, welcome to the chat. He's a Barcelona fan, by the way, and he has agreed to join and comment for some time. And I think uh, it would be a dual approach by Eric Ten Hag, that when we have the ball, we have to attack, and when we are defending, we have to be very solid in our defense, that we should not be giving away silly mistakes, silly errors, and we have to win the 50-50 duels and the half chances. I think that is the way to approach the game. I think even if they score first, we have it in us to equalize and then go ahead in the game also, because we have our 12th man with us, 70,000 Manchester United fans cheering us on 15 minutes prior to kickoff. That has been confirmed by the club. So I think the atmosphere will be crazy today. We are so pumped and excited, and I just want a good football match, and I want to win. So we'll do predictions later.
Very rightly said. Today, out of all the games, is very important for us as fans to put our whole and soul behind the players. It has been a long time since there is an atmosphere of this magnitude, or a game of this magnitude against a side that is equally in good form, if we can say, for lack of better word, and entering this game on level footing. So Ojis bhai, I remember when Jose Mourinho said this statement: "When Old Trafford wants, Man United win," which is a very beautiful ode to the fans at Manchester United. So he basically meant to say that whenever Old Trafford lifts up its voice, raises its atmosphere to a whole different level, more often than not, it feels like United have 12 players on the pitch. Because of the sheer voice of the Stretford end or the entire stadium as a whole. In a game like this, how important it is for us, for the fans, to maintain that atmosphere right from the opening whistle up until every single time, because there will be situations where the game will go in a lull, where it will be a very tightly contested game, in certain parts where it will feel like the game is drifting towards a sense of nothingness, or it is going to be a very tactical stalemate sort of a thing. How important it is for the fans to keep that voice and that decibel levels going, so that the players feed off that energy, because we've seen this. I in my time as a fan, the time I had seen this happening full and fire was the Real Madrid game, when Real Madrid had come at home in the Champions League. We could see the likes of Ryan Giggs, Patrice Evra, Vida, all of them literally egging on the crowd to get on. And for the entirety of the 90 minutes, even though we lost that game, the crowd was behind us. So how important it is to have a similar atmosphere today, with the stakes being so high.
Yeah, actually, to be very particular about this point, I don't want us to be trailing at Old Trafford tonight. Although we consider fans as the 12th man of the team, but we have to also think about what pressure it will create to be trailing against a Spanish side at Old Trafford with 70,000 people really just pushing you. It can create an atmosphere of pressure also. So we have to be upfront, and we have to be ready that we don't concede first. It will be a very long 90 minutes if we concede against Barcelona. And what fans can do is that the 15 minutes before the game, what it's going to happen is create a electric atmosphere so that every Barca player coming out of the tunnel feels the vibe of the Old Trafford. It is the original theater of the dreams. It is the only theater of the dreams, and it is a place that belongs to Manchester United. And with comparing the result to the Liverpool and everything, it is just a mediocre club right now. Don't want to compare what happened to Liverpool this week, because it is just in a state of mediocrity, and it is not in the right shape. But on the other hand, United are creating a fortress. We have created a fortress at Old Trafford to just put put a final nail in the coffin. I know it's a long way to go to the finals of this tournament, but to put the final nail in the coffin, we have to make Barca feel what it is to play at Old Trafford, and what we can do on this ground, and we should just dominate Barca from the first minute on.
Very, very rightly said. And Kamil Bhai, welcome to the stream first of all. So Kamil Bhai says that we know United are favourites at Old Trafford, but things can change quickly if Barca score. Abhijit Bhai, what is your thought on this opinion? I mean, there is obviously an off chance that Barca could end up taking the lead against the run of play, or maybe they could make their dominance count. We don't know anything about as yet, because the game hasn't started yet, but there could be a situation that where United have been the dominant side, but not able to take our chances, and then against the run of play, Barcelona go and score. How quickly will the dynamic change then, and how important it is then, to make sure that we do not lose our collective nerves and keep on doing the things that we do best. Because most of the time it's always said that everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. And trailing against Barca at Old Trafford would be the ultimate sucker punch. So normally it will be very natural if the team does lose shape or does lose its compactness a little bit. But how important it is to get back as soon as it happens, because we have to be at a point where we need to stay strong at this point.
See, there are two aspects of on this looking at this comment, and even I want to answer this. See, Barcelona's defense is very much good. They have Christensen, Kunde, Arau, and Balde. They all play high, they all are very quick enough. They progress very quickly in the attack. So this could be a threat for us. So we can't take it very lightly on United perspective. Second is Sergio Busquets returning to midfield, so he will control the game. Now, if you look at the traits of Sergio Busquets, he controls the game. He runs the game through his mind, and he runs what he wants. So the opposition gets frustrated, and you can opposition can commit to the tackles or anything mistakes. So this can turn around and they can score. Okay. Last time I think few hours ago I saw Barcelona's preview that they were practicing about set pieces. So they I think they have found out that Deha is not as quick as enough in set pieces. So okay, he can stop the shots, but he's not that quick enough. United have the tendency to make mistakes in set pieces, as you see the way I think Alonso scored the first goal. So you can see this small gaps where they can take the advantage and score the goal. So uh, they were practicing all the set pieces, crosses, everything. They were practicing in the training, what I watched, even the leaked video. So United should stop this all these attacks. Their main focus, I in my opinion I would say, is their midfield. If you stop Busquets, if you have the possession, you take up those small, all the chances, whatever the precious chances we get in the opposition box or Barcelona, and if you take that advantage, then we are definitely getting on that. But if we took that pressure on us, and what we did last mistakes when they were on the run, because they have good defense now, so they are definitely going to attack. And Rafinha is had played in Old Trafford. He knows Old Trafford. Lewandowski is a world class player. So if they pro if the, if and Frankie De Jong coming into attack, then you can't stop their attacks. So we have to be on very we have to be in concentration in this game, because we can't afford to make mistakes. This is the if you are going with the priority on Europa League, then you have to be at your topmost in this game. And the 25 to 30 minutes are very crucial for United.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Like Shaunak Bhai says, character defining game for us. Cannot wait to give it back to them after the 2009 final, or even the 2011 final. If you see, two straight finals where we've met them in the finals and we've lost badly. Not even it. Both the finals weren't competitive by any strange. Uh, Competitive at any stretch, and this is the time I think more than spirit. There are a lot of people talking about spirit of 1984, but not a lot of fans speaking about the spirit of 2008, where we beat them in the semi-finals at Old Trafford. And again, our support came to the fore. Our support was vociferous throughout the course of 90 minutes. The crowd played.
We'll
It felt,
see. Sorry.
yeah,
We'll
it
see a
felt like,
Sabitzer screamer.
hopefully, the crowd went through the pain of the team. The crowd went through the joyous moments. It felt like the crowd was playing with the side then, and that is the exact same energy that we require today. So now let's talk a little bit about the teams. Let's talk about the opponents first. Let's talk about the away side. Sandeep bhai, Barca do come in this game with a little bit of a handicap. as we all know, Usman Dembele is out. He's been out for a while now. But the key absentees are in their engine room. That is their midfielders, Pedri and Gavi. Pedri due to injury and Gavi due to suspension. While Sergio Busquets is being past fit, we don't know how fit he exactly is. Will he be fit enough to start the game, or will he be fit enough, to make an appearance in the bench? Apparently, rumored lineups have him starting the game right from the get go. But then again, we'll have to wait and see up until I think less than 15 minutes now to go for the lineups to come out. So that is when we'll have a much better idea of what the teams will be. So, what are your thoughts about the Barca side? And they still have quality in their side in spite of the absentees that they have. They do have Lewandowski up top, who, in spite of drawing a blank against us in the first leg, still is one of the greatest strikers in world football at the moment. Then they have Rafinha, who was arguably their best performer and was rightly upset at being substituted. And then even Ansu Fati came in and played a very good cameo of around, say, 20 odd minutes, where he did make things happen and basically did what he was expected to do, come in against tired legs, give them a hard time. And he was very fortunate to not have a goal. We came very close twice. And so all in all, they did give a good account of themselves. But with basically their nucleus ripped out from them in the form of those two midfielders, how important do you think for them this game will be? And what would be how would you think they would approach their game? Do you think that this time it will be them who will be soaking up all the pressure and then springing up against playing on the counter, in spite that not being their modus operandi, that not being their natural style of play? So what are your thoughts on Barca, and how do you think they will approach this game?
So I think you said a very important word, which is the nucleus has been, taken out, because I think games are won in the midfield. Games are won and lost in the midfield, and I think with our midfield, which I'm hoping will be Casemiro, Sabitzer, and Bruno. But we never know with Ten Hag, he might shift Bruno to the right and bring in Fred, Sabitzer, and Casemiro in the midfield. It might happen, but whatever it is, if it is Bruno, Sabitzer, and Casemiro, I think the midfield we will have will be superior. So I think that's where we will win the game. I think Casemiro and Sabitzer coming in gives us such a good defensive side of midfield that we will be choking them in the middle of the field, middle of the park. And I think their midfield would be Sergio Roberto, Busquets, and Frenkie de Jong. Very good players, but I think
Kessie perhaps over Roberto. Kessie perhaps.
I don't see him starting. Maybe he comes into the game. I don't see him starting. Maybe Sergio Roberto, because when like last day Sergio Roberto was brought on after an injury to Gavi, if I'm not wrong.
Don't miss that screamer he scored on, and he won the game.
अरे यार PSG थोड़ी है हम लोग. कतार शायद खरीदेंगे.
I know.
शायद खरीदेंगे. PSG थोड़ी है हम लोग.
Abhijit bhai, I know what you're talking about, but then that was not a screamer.
That was
6 years. That was 6 years. 6 years ago, and the man is still living off it. I know a lot of Barca fans who genuinely believe that Roberto is still at the club because he's living off that remontada goal. So that is what they believe about what Sergio Roberto is to their club at the moment. But Kamil Bhai puts a very interesting point. Kamil Bhai, I hope I got your name right. I'm sorry for the mistake earlier. He believes that the three players who could actually cause a difference or hurt United are Rafinha, whose ability we seen quite literally firsthand in the first leg, even from distance and when he's having the ball in threatening areas as well. Then there is Frankie de Jong, and the third one is Araujo, because he's very good in the air and he has that rare, the perfect blend to make a central defender. He has everything there is. He has pace, recovery pace. Yeah. He can put in a tackle. He's firm and he's very physical also. So how much do you agree with Kamil Bhai saying that these three players, if they start, could pose a genuine threat to us?
Yes, absolutely. So as I was saying, that Rafinha, De Jong, and Araujo, I think will be very important for them, as well as Lewandowski. I think Ansu Fati might start off the left wing if I don't know what they will go with. because they don't have Pedri. I think he played left wing last week, so it will be a very interesting lineup from Barcelona because they are missing their key players. I think Kessie, it's a too big a stage for him to start. Maybe Javi will go for experience over talent, and I think that we will be able to exploit the Barcelona in the midfield. We will, and we have to win that battle in midfield, because once we win that battle, you supply to Rashford, you supply to Sancho or Anthony, you supply to Bruno. I think that will create a lot of problems for Barcelona. They have they have been absolutely brilliant in their La Liga form, conceding only 7 goals, if I'm not wrong, at the entire season. But they have conceded two against us. I mean, that very well shows that in one game, if they can concede two, and surely at Old Trafford with the crowd, we can exploit them. So I think it will be a very interesting and very catchy affair to watch them play, because their midfield, although weekend is not bad. Frankie De Jong, Busquets, Sergio Roberto, maybe Kessie. It's not bad at all. But I think we will be able to win the midfield battle. Kushagra is saying Fred starts official lineup out in 10 minutes. I don't know what Ten Hag is going for. And that's the best thing that Ten Hag brings out in this team, that we cannot predict where one player will start, because he has brought out so much of fluidity and so much of like one player can play multiple positions. That is the best thing Ten Hag has done this season. And with the injuries and the the sending offs and with the defaults we have,
Sandeep
which
bhai,
Casemiro
Fred
and Sabitzer
starts
have
because
missed.
Bruno will play right wing. Sandeep
Yeah,
bhai, Fred will
I
start
said that.
because
Maybe Bruno
Bruno
is
will be
shifted to the
playing.
right, and Fred, Sabitzer, and Casemiro gives a very strong defensive midfield, which will be able to create chances also. Because Bruno from the right is very productive. He is the only one who looks up and cross. Sancho does. Anthony doesn't do that. Rashford doesn't do that from the left. Abhijit, bhai, you're saying something?
Yes, Sandeep bhai, they conceded 2 goals because they were not on the no best defense. They didn't have that player because Marcos Alonso
True.
and Jordi Alba was there. So Rashford had the chance to pass on. So now they have a we I think we are predicting that they are having a their main backline. So there would be, and there would be some sort of wall between them. There will be. Second point, you said that Bruno playing on the right. See, Bruno playing on the right, we have already tried. Ole also had tried to play in on the right side. Ragnit also tried, but he was not that comfortable because of that all the tactics what we didn't come up to it. But if you look now, Bruno has a bit settled on the right side, and we had an option now. We can Vegas coming in as number 10. Sancho can play as in the left. Even you can operate switch the flanks. You can use Anthony also if someone is tired of his legs. So this tactics
I think,
is really
yes,
working.
exactly. I think
So
Anthony and Garnacho substitutions in the second half maybe will be very important, because we will give their tired legs a run for their money. And Anthony coming in and Garnacho coming in, Sancho coming into number 10, maybe Bruno finding a place, Vegas comes off, Rashford goes into the number 9. It's very fluid at the moment. We cannot predict what is going to happen. And that is the best part about Ten Hag, I feel.
and even Bruno, if you look at Bruno's game, he also drifts. He's better at left side. I don't know if you have observed it, but he always drift to left side. He's comfortable more. But
The
Tenag, has
versatility is
demanded
what
that
it is.
yes, he has made him versatile that you can operate on right side too. So it
Yeah,
adds some time with some part of attacks, and it makes him comfortable. That's a good thing for us to look at.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ojas bhai, finally coming to you after a long pause. Kushagra says it's Casemiro and Sabitzer day. Let's talk about chaos. I mean, chaos in the sense this is organized chaos where we have three midfielders. There is Casemiro, there is Fred, and there is Sabitzer. All these
Be
three midfielders have bundles of energy. Yeah, Sandeep, go ahead.
be worried, but not for us.
Call an ambulance, but not for us, you mean? So, three midfielders, different qualities, different abilities, but one thing is common among all three, that is the ability to cause chaos. All three have that element of chaos in them. uh, okay, so Kushagra has all of a sudden just put a dampener on this, where he says that Sabitzer is not in the level. Boom,
I
Kushagra.
hope that's not true.
I hope, hopefully, but there's still 3 minutes there for the lineup. But just by what do you make about the three, where Casemiro, Sabitzer, and Fred? There could very well be a chance that there come a time where all these three will be on the pitch together at the same time. So,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
forget about the game. Just tell me, what do you feel about this midfield three?
See,
Just, just,
see,
yeah.
see. I don't know what you guys think about Fred, but for me, he's a person who creates chaos for us for maximum time, and for the opposition a little less. I respect Fred a lot, and but this midfield he can just blend into you, because Fred can now focus going forward. Sabitzer is a player, is a kind of player I wanted to sign in the summer, or the club to sign in the summer also. That was what we were looking in Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong is an upgraded version of Sabitzer, or without any disrespect. But this is the kind of player which was needed in the midfield, because Casemiro has a role, Bruno has a role, Eriksen has a role, but you always need a player, a midfielder who can win the ball from the opposition. And when Sabitzer, Fred, and Casemiro will handle the midfield, what will happen is it will create a very tough situation for Barca midfield to come out of that trap. When you handicap Barca's midfield, you automatically handicap Barcelona. It is in the blood, it is in the veins of Barcelona that their attacks, their game is controlled by the midfield. So if you somehow control the midfield, you control Barcelona. Although anything can happen. It's football, but this midfield I would love to have with Bruno on right. It can be a very good. It can be a very good strategy. And I think McTominay is fit, so we will have Mino and McTominay on the bench. So it's not like that we are completely out of midfielders. It is a strategy which can be used when it will be used from the start or from whatever. But it is a very good strategy because it just completely handicaps Barcelona. And this is the reason, Sandeep Bhai, I think so, Kessie will play. If this is the thinking of Eric Ten Hag, Kessie will play because you need the strength in the midfield. You need people with muscles in the midfield to counter Casemiro and Sabitzer, which I don't know. I don't think so. Roberto has the capability to do. Frankie De Jong is another player. He's a very different player to in both the midfields. So I don't think so. Roberto has the capability to do that. For me, Kessie, Busquets, and De Jong are the midfield today for Barcelona.
All right, so it's 12:15, and before we move ahead, I'll just go ahead and read out the lineups for the sides.
Lineups are
So United's lineup is De Gea in goal, Martinez, Fernandez, Rashford, Fred, Casemiro, Varane, Shaw, Sancho, Vegas, and my boy Aaron Wan-Bissaka. This is the lineup for the United side. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the United lineup? Abhijit, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the United lineup?
Uh, best lineup. I would say we United has gone for, Ten Hag gone for a best lineup. Is reliable, and he wants to be explosive. Uh, Fred,
Abhijit
including
Bhai,
Fred.
sorry, Abhijit Bhai. Delvin, is Sabitzer booked?
No,
No, he's not booked. He was suspended because of that
he's
in the
available.
first leg. He's available, but
Okay,
he's on the
okay,
bench. He's
okay,
on the bench.
okay,
yes,
okay.
suspension is over. Ojas bhai. So United going for explosive. I think Fred will provide that tackles and everything, and you will provide intensity. So it was needed because you have I think he will man mark. I think Sergio Busquets. I am thinking, in my opinion, and using Fred as marking someone is good. Sancho, Fernandez, and Rashford, because we, as we discussed now, and we all discussed that Sandeep by we are talking, it has come into that in that area. Van Bissaka, yes, I would we would have I'm sorry, Dylan bhai, but I would have preferred Dalot, but okay, because Dalot was sloppy in that some games, so I would
Just
have
look at Delvin.
yes, he's giving me some that vibes. Oh, I know, sorry, but but I I agree with Tenak. He using Van Bissaka because I think Balde and all the players coming at the uh, our box. So we need a on one player, and Van Bissaka is good at that Spider-Man tackle.
जरा साइड में आना ब्रो, थोड़ी बात करनी है.
Yes, sir.
No, no, no. I
uh,
think Van Bissaka deserves it. Van
yeah,
Bissaka
because
deserves this.
I think
Absolutely. Even I would
yeah.
have picked Wan Bissaka over Dalot. Even I would
There
have.
was a lot of genuine discourse about this also, whether who would Ten Hag play as the right back, because for the first time in a very long time, it's a very rare sight to see two fullbacks in the same position playing so well, and it is genuinely becoming a difficult proposition for even a manager as good as Ten Hag, to pick up a right back for the first time. In spite of being a hardcore Van Bissaka fan, okay, I will have to admit that the first leg was not his good game in terms of defense. For the first time in a very long time, I'm saying this, he was very good going forward. You could genuinely see the palpable confidence in him when he carried the ball forward. He was getting into those inverted areas which is expected of him. He was running across the byline, and also he put in a couple of very delicious crosses, which I felt it
Yeah.
was just unlucky that a couple of players did not read the timing of that cross, or else at least one of them had it going into the back of the net. I'm not saying this in bias. You can literally turn back the footage and just see that it was very very close to those players who made those runs in.
I think
So
those 30 seconds with Sancho earned him the spot in the team.
yeah, I think not that also, but he was pretty good
No, but
offensively in the first leg.
yeah, the
Absolutely.
theory behind Bissaka is simply that you play well, you are rewarded for big games.
Yeah,
That is
Absolutely.
the
but
theory
Absolutely.
behind Eric Ten Hag. If
then
whether
yeah, yeah, go
you're
on.
Bissaka, you're Garnacho, sorry, whether you're Bissaka, Garnacho, or anyone, you play well, you're rewarded with big games.
Correct, absolutely right. But then in his like Mojo sir says, the space that he had provided to the Barca attackers. Now Barcelona, we were very fortunate that Barcelona did not take their chances, but there were a lot of open spaces, and there was one particular instance where Aaron literally became Darshil Safari of Tare Zameen Par. He literally did not understand how that ball came in. It was a very, very comfortable take, but he did not. He horribly mistimed his run, and that meant that it was a counter attack from very, very dangerous place. I think it was. I don't know who was it, but they got the ball just a couple of steps out of the edge of the
Agreed,
penalty
agreed.
area. Yeah, okay. Thankfully, nothing came out of it, but it was a heart in the mouth moment. And in a
Absolutely.
game as crucial as this, Aaron has to step up. Aaron has to make sure that his positional awareness, his spatial awareness is on point. Because if at all he does come up a cropper in this game, I see him out of the side for at least the next 5 to 6 games. That is dead certain. He'll definitely not play the Carabao final. That is for sure. If he comes up a cropper in this game, that is what I feel. Just till that time, what are your thoughts on Sancho getting a start, Abhijit bhai? Are you surprised with Sancho getting a start, or did you believe that Sancho could perhaps be an impact player or used for the bench or something like that? I know that Anthony is not yet fit, 100% fit to make an involvement right from the start. But did you expect Sancho to start? I mean, is Sancho's inclusion in the side not a surprise for you?
Yes, I'm not surprised with that Sancho is good, but I will be surprised where he plays, because whether he plays as number 10, whether he plays as left side, or whether he plays on right side, that will be something we should look out. If he plays left side, then as we discussed with Sandeep Bhai and we all, the same tactic will be Bruno playing in the right side, making it those stretching those run, that could be that the tactics. But Sancho, if you look at playing Sancho as a left or you even on the right, Vegas you creating the spaces. If you see in the Leicester game, he created that space, that gap between the uh, wing backs and all. So he capitalized that space and he put on the ball and made the chances on the goal. So it is a pivotal. Sancho can sense that there is a chance and he can take up the zones and he can score the goals. So this will be very very pivotal, and I don't mind play Sancho and Bruno in changing the flanks coming up because if you see Sancho and Van Bissaka, they are very gelled up, very good, as what we saw Dalot and Anthony gelled up. So this would be advantage for us, and we can capitalize on that what we have. So Sancho playing is pivotal. After 40 60 minutes, we can take Anthony, or you can one take Garnacho in the team, and we can uh, take the game front.
So before I get into it, Salman, hi, first of all, welcome to the stream. So in European competitions, the lineups are announced 75 minutes before kickoff and not 1 minute, 1 hour before kickoff. So the lineups have already been announced at 12:15. So that is the reason why we are talking about the lineups. So Sandeep Bhai and Ojas Bhai, the Barca lineup is here. So there are a couple of surprises, Sandeep Bhai. So Cassie starts over Roberto, like I said. So it's Ter Stegen at goal. It's Kunde, Araujo, Christensen, and Alex Balde getting a start. So Jordi Alba misses out. Then the midfield is Busquets, Frankie De Jong, and Cassie. And Sergio Roberto plays as a left winger. Interesting there. So that is a very surprising inclusion with Sergio Roberto playing as left wing,
So we
Lewandowski
both
as
are right.
number 9,
We,
and
we both are right.
Rafinha playing as a right winger. So, what are your thoughts on the 11 or the Barca
So that
11?
is that is a really surprising 11 which Javi has put. I think will they go with five at the back? I don't know, or
I
maybe
think it's
three.
going to be. I think it's going to be 4. Uh, looking at the lineup, I don't think
Where
they're
does
going to
Sergio
play
Roberto play
5.
on the left wing? I don't. I
He's
maybe I
pretty
don't.
versatile. He's pretty versatile. He can play everywhere.
He's
He's
a
the
daily
Lucas.
blend. He's a daily blend.
He's Barcelona's Lucas Vasquez.
Okay, okay, got it,
Yeah.
got it. So it's a pretty strange and interesting lineup by Xavi. I don't know if it's mind games or whatever, but I don't think Ten Hag falls for it. I think so. Their left wing, that means we have Bruno or Sancho to exploit that. So that would be good to watch. But I think it's a defensive cover which Xavi has gone for, and so I think that we should comfortably be ahead in this game, not score wise but performance wise, because we have we have a very close knit team right now. There is real united in the Manchester United right now. So I think whatever is put in front of us, we should be able to glide past that easily. And it's a very new thing to be facing such big European nights for some of our players because they have not faced such big games for these players. And for Eric Ten Hag, it's a line in the sand kind of a moment that like this game will be the we will look back on this game like this is when we started to believe that Manchester United has come back. We are back. So I think today getting a win is really important. And the lineup for Barcelona, I feel that it is novel, let's say. But I don't think Eric Ten Hag or our team fall for these mind games, and we should be able to take that easily on. And thank you, Gaurav, and thank you, Sumit Bhai, for joining the stream. Welcome.
So one one interesting selection is Alex Balde coming into the lineup. Now, Alex Balde, in the little that I have seen, pretty quick, has the pace, and will definitely be playing on the left side. So, how important do you think the battle between Alex Balde and Aaron Van Bissaka will be? Because last time in the first leg, it was Van Bissaka versus Alba. Now, that's a pretty one-sided fight, even though you could see that these are two players who have their limitations, both of them. But then Alba, instead of playing football, decided to spend most of his first 45 minutes, bitching to the referee. Not the correct way of using your abilities to the fullest, perhaps, and whining and falling on the ground. That is what he was doing. So, how even this battle will be between Balde and Van Bissaka? And do you think the person who come up trumps between this battle could have a big say in how the match progresses?
Um, yeah, I think you have summed up the performance of Jordi Alba in the last fixture. But just think how Xavi is thinking right now. Just consider this. Uh, Although Roberto is jack of all trades, but we should remember that when you know a player is very good going forward, and he also has a defensive duty in his, objective. So you put a player on that side that can cover up the defensive area of that pitch. This is what Roberto will be doing today. What he will be doing is controlling the left side through his defensive positions also. That will allow Balde to go forward. Now, when Balde comes forward, although Bisaka, one of the best challengers, I should consider him one of the best tacklers of the football in the world. There is always a situation when a player is too pacey and you try to commit to a pacey player, you give fouls of or even a penalty when you don't want to. However good you are in the world, this happens when the player in the opposition has a very high pace. And I'm very happy to see that Ansu Fati is not starting, but it can be a very good strategy by Xavi also. Balde going forward, creating extra pressure on Van Bissaka. Now you will close Van Bissaka. Why? Because you have Roberto and Balde on that side. Now you close the movement of Bisaka, so the right side, which is already short of Anthony's pace, just gets short of Bisaka's sprint also. So Bisaka is contained by you should say Balde and Roboto, and this just creates an added pressure. So the Sancho has to do the creating thing also, and Sancho has to come back. For me, Bruno plays on the right, Sancho plays on the center. We will see in the game, but the right side today looks completely marked. It can work out as a strategy. So all the responsibility goes on the left, and the left. Fortunately for us, we have one of the best left-sided midfield wing for me in the world.
Yeah, a certain Wittenshaw Eusebio and a man who's in love with the nine-piece KFC bucket. Things going very well for us as far as the left side is concerned. I'm in no way body shaming Luke Shaw. Please do not take my comments out of context. I genuinely love the guy to bits. If anything, please blame Alternative MEFC, not me. So, Kamil bhai, you are absolutely right in saying that Barca will play 4-4-2. That is going to be their formation.
I
Because,
totally
yes,
agree.
like you rightly said, that they will hope for having midfield domination. And United's sole purpose will basically be to block their supply, block their passing lanes, and make sure that their midfield is completely stifled, like what we did in the first leg. So, Abhijit bhai, another important key is that in the first leg, we more often than not decided to put the pressure on De Jong uh, when he received the ball. So basically, whenever De Jong received the ball, that was our trigger for pressing Barca. And more often than not, it was successful, which ensured that De Jong was playing a little more deeper than what he's accustomed to, which more or less ensured that he was marked out of the game and he wasn't able to get an influence in the game as he would expect. So he did not have a very good game because of that technique. Do you think that this is something that the United midfield would once again try to implement again in the second leg, considering the success that it had in the first leg?
Yes, definitely. United will do the same what they have applied in the first game or first leg. You saw that Fred marking De Jong, and he was not giving any spaces to De Jong. He was totally doing the tackles, dirty works, everything. He was closing down for Frankie De Jong. So that's why Frankie was totally off. Okay, that that happened because uh, whenever you see Frankie De Jong flourishing the game is because of Busquets. If now Busquets is there, so you can say that Frankie De Jong will come into the attacks. He will provide that that long balls. He will put that through balls, everything for Lewandowski and even for Rafinha. So to congest him, we need, I think, Fred will him totally mark him. Casemiro will take up Sergio Busquets, and we have Shaw coming in, playing as an inverted wing back and playing him, doing that all the tackles. Van Bissaka, I would not say will do that, because if you change the shape now, whenever you see in the big games, United change the shape. Actually, they come with 3-2-3-2, and at the attack. So it can be a something that United will change. So you can see in the last game also they were Martinez. I think it was Varane. I think Varane, or I think it was Shaw, and they were back three. So it will be maintained like that, and two players at the front, so you can protect the defense. So that kind of tactics can be applied, and Frankie Dong, you cannot flourish in that sometimes in the tactics, closing down this all the lines, and Casimiro present, Sabitzer. If you use Sabitzer very early, it would be different tactics. But Fred, using Fred, it was the same tactics. Nothing at the rocket science. So Frankie De Jong is a a vital player in now, because Sergio Busquets is there. So I am fearing that Frankie De Jong could flourish. He is the player. And second player, I would say it would be a Lewandowski, because Lewandowski, knows how to operate in these big games. He knows take the pressure, and he has identified what trait Deha is lack of that, and he can capitalize on that. Okay, we have a great defense, but he can capitalize on that set pieces, and he can do a smart work. I want to ask one question to all of you. What will be the United formation? What do you think? Will it
It's
be a
still
four
going
one
to. No, I think
four
it's
one
going
four
to
one?
be 4-2-3-1 only.
Okay.
With Bruno, I think that is going to be the preferred formation, because I don't think we're going to play 4-1-4-1. It becomes a little too much. I think with the 4-1-4-1, the problem of width becomes an issue. And with Eric Ten Hag insistent on his wider players to hold the width at times from one side at least. 4-1-4-1 for me just not the right formation.
It
Where
it
No, I'm just asking. That's why I
no,
asked.
no,
It
I'm
can be
no,
I'm
Del,
also
4-1. It
Delvin
can be actually
Delvin
4-1-2-3. 4-1-2-3 also it can be,
yeah
because
Del,
if, yeah, or just
नहीं, मैं बस ये कह रहा था कि हो सकता है वेगोस plays behind Rashford and Sancho just moves to left and Bruno comes to right. This
yeah,
can
that might
happen.
happen. That is
This can
exactly what
happen.
Salman Bhai was saying even. And I think for the front four, no, you cannot predict Eric Ten Hag. It will be very
exactly
fluid.
precise.
It will be very fluid. You will see everyone in everyone's position. I think there is no cutout left wing, right wing, CAM, and forward today, because all of them can play all the positions under Ten Hag. We have seen Rashford on the right wing against Barca also last week. So it can be anyone at anywhere.
Scored his goal from the right. Worth
Exactly.
pointing
Score
out.
was goal
Scored
from
his
the
goal
right,
from the
both of the
right.
goals.
From the own goal,
Exactly.
you mean? The own goal. The own, yeah. Sandeep bhai, simple question, not a big question. Sabitzer unlucky to miss out, perhaps.
I think so. I would have, if I was Eric Ten Hag, I would have picked him. Maybe he has one eye on the Carabao Cup final. I don't know. Uh, but I would have picked Sabitzer over Fred, because especially I want to see Casemiro and Sabitzer play together. I think what Abhijit Bhai just said 2 minutes back, that it unlocks Frankie when Busquets is in the team. We had problem for 5 years when Pogba was here, and apparently no DM could unlock him. Okay, so I think that today Sabitzer could have had a goals like a game where he went forward, came back, went forward, pretty box to box midfield, what we say, and scored a screamer or two. So I think Sabitzer is a bit unlucky, but I think Ten Hag has gotten a bit pragmatic. I think he has been a bit defensive in. I think Abhijit Bhai is absolutely right. He is trying to man mark Frankie De Jong out of the game. And that is Fred's job. Because once Frankie finds a through ball to Lewandowski, it's game over. That is very important to stop, and I think Frankie will
Not
be
with
marked out of the
Lisandro
game by Fred.
Martinez. Not with Lisandro
No,
Martinez.
no,
He
I'm just
won't be.
see. I'm not saying our defense is bad or anything, but Frankie has that vision to
The
give that
the
heavy like pass.
the strategy can be used against one of the best defenders in the club, against Harry Maguire. But see, the strategy cannot be used against Varane and Lisandro. I'm not saying De Jong won't use it. It will. He will try. But if 1% chance of Barcelona scoring this is through the Bissaka side only. They have to come
Yeah,
forward from that side, and Lewandowski
Delvin
has
by
to
मार ही
penetrate the
डालेगा आपको मैं Delvin by मार ही डालेगा आपको.
No, no,
No,
I was just
by
laughing.
the way, Ojas, I agree to your point. By the way, you have to remember Frankie De Jong has been taught by Eric Ten Hag, so he knows his game. Okay, so
Even
he
he
will
was
have the
taught
plan.
by
See,
anyone,
I want to be
even
devil's
taught by
advocate.
anyone.
I want to be devil's advocate, and what Ojas is saying that uh, Van Bissaka is not at no okay, he's good in all the tackles, but he's not at in aerials. So
Ariel, yeah,
yeah, you can capitalize.
back post.
Oh, I'm not saying
I
that he's not that, but
अभिजीत भाई not aerial उसके सामने आप 1-2 टिकी टाका कर लो, he just gets confused.
so
Bissaka is the
exactly.
player.
No,
So
uska,
that
uska
is
spatial awareness has to be on top. Spatial awareness has to be on top.
that
see,
is
Frankie,
that is my query also. So I'm not, I was not laughing because Ojas Bhai was saying that, we would, if at all we do end up conceding a goal, it's going to be from Aaron's side. I was just laughing at the fact that the words best and Harry Maguire were put together in the same sentence. That was my
Okay.
reason. That was my reason for being so I couldn't, I just couldn't hold it together. But my
Vishal
concern
Bhai,
is,
okay.
I share the same concern as Ojas Bhai. I'm genuinely concerned that if at all we do end up conceding a goal, it's definitely going to be from our right side. At this point in time, it's only because of the fact that Aaron did put in a very bad performance from a defensive point of view at Camp Nou. Although they did end up scoring both their goals from the right, Rafinha's side, which we will talk about now in a while. This time, there could be a genuine possibility with the likes of Balde or Roberto's positional versatility, making sure that the left also is that competitive to similar proportions as far as Barcelona's right side is concerned. So, Osis bhai, let's talk about Rafinha a little bit. So, in the first leg, Rafinha was easily one of their best players from an offensive standpoint. Two or three shots were very, very close to going into the back of the net from distance. In spite of Shaw having a good game, overall Shaw somehow didn't manage to contain Rafinha as he would have expected to. That is now whether that is due to indecision on part of Shaw or due to the sheer brilliance of Rafinha as a player in that particular time. Everything was coming out for him except the finish up until the point where it felt like, he deserved that goal no matter how fortunate it was. Because it was just reward for his performance. He was all over the place. He single-handedly brought Barcelona into the game. And after that goal, I mean, he was genuinely, you could genuinely see the frustration, and you could genuinely relate. I genuinely felt that had Rafinha been on the pitch after the equalizer, Barcelona would have ended up getting the winner also. That was how good. That's how good Rafinha was throughout the course of the game. Uh, how important it is to stop Rafinha. Like, it could be through fair means or by foul. You could end up kicking him on the shins, you could kick him on the legs, on his ass, anywhere. But how important it is to stop Rafinha before he takes flight.
If yeah, I just love Rafinha. He's fantastic, and he has played for two teams that I hate so much. He has played for two teams, but he's just very good. And for me, I consider him heaps over Anthony. No disrespect to Anthony, Rafinha is just very good on right wing. What usually happens with right wingers is since the Robin days I'm watching when right wingers start to cut, then that is a natural movement for right wingers, like it is for left wingers. They start to come inside. Now, when they start to come inside, the defenders usually get in a confused space whether they will go forward or just come, keeping coming inside. So this just creates a confusion in the minds of defenders like Malaysia, which are very new to professional football. For me, they are very young against this quality. Now with Shaw back in the team, I think the Rafinha situation can be handled very in a very positive way. The Rafinha situation is a simple in sense that you control his movement across the wing area of the attack. Now, when you control that, the Rafinha has to move in, and that is not his game. When you see Rafinha creating a space out of his natural space, you will understand that he is under the pressure of fullbacks or the defenders. We also have to remember that Lisandro Martinez was not available in the last game. Lisandro Martinez is one of the few players I've seen in the footballing world who covers the area of left centre back and also left back. He's so versatile, he's so quick, he's so strong that he covers two areas of the pitch. Varane is quite old. I used to see Varane do this when he was young, when Carval used to go forward. But Varane is right now on a state that I hope he stays off the stretcher. Yeah, but the Lisandro Martinez can do that role, and this is very important against Rafinha, because when Rafinha starts dominating, and if it happens in the game, it's free run for Barcelona and Lewandowski.
So it was not about one to tiki taka. Salman, it was not about one to tiki taka confusing Maguire. It was one to tiki taka passes confusing Van Bissaka, not Maguire. Maguire gets confused by anything and everything, with all due respect to him. So that is what it is. So we've spoken about everything there is to be spoken about. We're less than 45. We're almost 45 minutes away from the kickoff. Emotions are running high. I'm trying to keep a straight face through all this, but deep inside, my heartbeat is racing at almost 200 beats per minute, just due to the magnitude of the game that is there. Ojas, you're hereby confirmed OBE MBE.
Sir Ojas Cutie. Sir
Sir,
Ojas
sir,
Cutie.
Sir Ojas Cutie. Arise, Sir Ojas Cutie. There's only one thing left, and for once, disclosure, I'm not going to give my predictions
अरे
for
भाई
the
तेरे
second
भाई
leg.
तेरा टूटू हुआ भाई
No,
तेरा
but
टूटू हुआ
Delvin,
Just predict the win. Just
Delvin,
predict the
बिन
win.
Delvin, even if you
बिन
predict
प्रेडिक्ट
if
कर
you predict against us, we cannot come to
वीडियो
you
के
by
पहले जो
directly.
बोला वो नहीं होना है
Win, win. Just predict the win.
so okay, all
Delvin
right.
will
I'll
predict.
just
Delvin
uh,
will predict first.
okay, so you want me to predict first? All right. So, like I said in the beginning of the stream, and I might have a lot of people come at my throats for this. For the first time in this span of 2.5 months, I enter a game having a bad feeling about United. This Barca game is the perfect recipe for United stumbling. A team which is crippled with injuries, a team that is not missing its key players. This is basically the underdog mentality that they are looking for, and they could very well pull out a memorable defensive performance, and it could be a 1-0 ours winning, or it could be 1-1, and then we could end up edging it on penalties. So I'm going to. I hope that United win, but I see this game becoming a draw and then United edging it on penalties. That is
नहीं
what
भाई
I feel.
तू छोड़ दे भाई
That
बाकी
is
लोग को
what I
बोलने
feel.
दे बाकी लोग
अरे
को बोलने दे
डेल्विन
तू
कल
छोड़ दे
जाना है यार, कल जाना है। आप खत्म करो ना मैच जल्दी, क्या कर रहे हो?
नहीं नहीं आप जाओ हम लोग संभाल लेंगे स्ट्रीम हम लोग संभाल लेंगे आप
Good
जाओ
night. Good night.
स्ट्रीम हम लोग संभाल लेंगे आप जाओ
नहीं नहीं,
Uh,
Sandeep bhai, one question. Delvin, are you saying that we are going to edge in penalties with De Gea?
yes,
Are you believing that?
yes. For once, for once.
वेरी मतलब मेरे को तो लग रहा है बल्कि पेनल्टीज में गए हम और फंस जाए।
Maybe
यूरोपा लीग
they'll put it.
पेनल्टीज
Maybe instead of Daya saving, they'll put one out of target. So, Moses are saying that from Delvin not predicting bringing the game into disrepute to Delvin literally bringing the game into disrepute. This is like Ancelotti saying Drogba has malaria, and then within 2 minutes, Chelsea putting out a statement saying that Drogba has recovered from malaria. Ojas, what are your predictions to the game, and who do you think will end up scoring the first goal?
Yeah, I'm going for a, 3-1 United win at Old Trafford. For me, Lewandowski scores for Barcelona, and Rashford scores one, Garnacho scores one, and one of the midfielders scores one.
Abhijit bhai, what about you? Your predictions and the goal scorers?
I'm just predicting the win. I
Fair enough.
want United to win. That's it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sandeep bhai, what about you? Do you believe that this is the game where that Portuguese guy silences Xavi once and for all?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, Bruno scores, he goes and shows literally. I have a number 8 on my back, by the way. I won't be able to just, turn around right now. I think he goes and shows like this after scoring the goal. I too think it will be a 3-1. I think Lewandowski gets a goal, Lewandowski or Ansu Fati. And I think Marcus Widenshaw, Eusebio scores. I think I'm just screaming out for a Sabitzer screamer today. I don't know when he will come on or if he will come on. And I think Bruno scores. So Bruno, Sabitzer, and Rashford
Sandeep bhai,
and
Sabitzer
Lewandowski.
screaming will be breaking leg of a Barca player. Sabitzer is
उससे भी
that
खुश हूं मैं.
screaming.
4-1 है वो. फ्रेंकी डियोंग
Sabitzer
को
has
ओल्ड
a
ट्रैफोर्ड
very
में रखना है
Sandeep bhai, Sabitzer
समर्थक.
has a very specific role. Sabitzer has a very specific role. I don't think so. He's going for a screamer
Sandeep
or
bhai,
something, but he's a
how
very
about this
specific role.
celebration? That Messi celebration doing that number 10. How about doing that Bruno
Won't
in front of his Xavi?
nah nah.
Xavi.
nah.
नहीं.
I have a very
I
very
किसी का टांग तोड़ना है तो फ्रेंकी डियोंग का तोड़ो, समर्थक रख लो, ट्रांसफर कर लो, यहीं
nah.
पे रख दो.
I would not wish someone from something
No,
like
no,
this. No, no.
absolutely not. But I'm just,
Yeah.
you know,
How about
I
Van
have
Bissaka scoring?
I have a very very wild I have a very very wild dream. Like I have a very
Wan
wild
Bissaka.
Van Bissaka scoring the winner, and you
Oh my
imagine the
God.
you imagine the peak shamelessness that I will enter.
Dalvin, just
The
tell me, is it the right foot or a header? Because I don't think he's scoring from his left foot. Is it a
no,
right
he's
foot
not.
or a header?
He's going to score from his right foot,
Hey,
obviously.
even if Bisaka comes close to scoring now, you will realize it's an off day for Barca. If Bisaka
I
comes
don't
close to even scoring,
see. I genuinely don't mind how Bisaka scores. I'll be pleased even if
uh,
he scores with his balls. I don't mind as long as he puts the ball behind the net. That's
Absolutely.
it.
you
The
score
levels
a
And
goal
also,
with the
I
you
ball
wish
will
only,
Weghorst
Delvin.
gets a goal today. I think he deserves it. I
you
also
will
आप
wish
संदीप
Weghorst
भाई
gets a
आप
goal today.
संदीप भाई सबको गोल दे दो आप सबको गोल दे दो ऐसा करो इवन डिहाया कम्स इन फॉर अ हेडर वो कहता है भाई मैं
भाई डहाया गोल करेगा तो वो 11th पेनल्टी होगा, ऐसा मत
पता
बोल.
है आप संदीप भाई ये नहीं देख रहे हो वहां पे लेवेंडोस्की और रफीनिया कैसे खड़े रेडी एकदम वो उसको देख के थोड़ा धक धक हो रहा है उसको देख के लग रहा है आज थोड़ा
अभी
कुछ
तो बोले लिसांड्रो है. अभी क्यों धक धक कर रहा है? लिसांड्रो है, वरान है.
वो तो वो तो भाई उसपे भी थे कितने डिफेंडर्स जब बायर्न ने जिसका बैंड बजाया था पीएसजी का मार्किनियोस था ना वहां पे
so so Mojo sir says that I have got into my orgasm phase. Not yet, not yet. Hopefully tonight. Well, everything will get dirty then, and the levels of shamelessness that I will have in the stream is
do
going
you
to
do you
have
guys
no
expect a
end.
red card? Do you guys expect a red card?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. That's a very very tricky one. I genuinely do expect a yellow. It could come very very close to a red, but no, I don't think there's going to be a red
I
for
think
me.
there will be some shithousery on the field today.
Haram ball.
Haram ball.
Haram
Absolutely.
ball.
Casemiro in the middle of it.
Arao.
No, if
Arao.
Barcelona scores first, you will see a fight. If Barcelona scores first, you will see a fight.
विशाल भाई
Very
ऑफिस का
very.
छुट्टी ले लो कल.
No,
जीता तो खुशी.
Arao is that the player who can do the dirty work. So I'm expecting something there.
I mean, even Busquets does it, yaar. You
अरे
remember
भाई
that?
बुस्केट्स बहुत ये है भाई.
You remember
By the way,
that?
he is
Yeah.
the only
So
guy who is there from the 2011 team, right?
Yes,
I mean,
2000. Yes.
most
oh
He's
my
underrated player
god,
like.
longevity.
yeah. So, longevity. But he's not the same player that he is, but still
Of
can do a
course,
job
but
though.
still.
We should
Yeah.
we should have balanced out the speed with Busquets. We should have played Maguire. Where the speed doesn't balances out.
भाई तेरा
No,
अभी
it's fine. It's
एमबी निकाल दिया फिर से, तू क्या चाहिए तेरे को?
ये मैं सेम
अभी बोला
ओपिनियन
मोटू
है
सर
ब्रो.
ने.
So, Abhijit Bhai, Sandeep Bhai, Ojis Bhai, thank you so much for joining the stream. Brilliant talking about the game, genuinely can see the excitement on our faces, and, less than 45 minutes, it's close to half an hour left for the game to begin, and we all are very, very hopeful of, making sure that we enter this game as the favorites, and end this game as the victors of this game. Whatever happens, we are pretty sure that this is going to be a very special encounter, an encounter for the ages. With that being said, we are very, very close to 1500 subscribers, guys. For all those who have joined our stream, thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for putting in your 2 cents about the game and what are your insights and your opinions about the game. Thank you for making it so interactive. Thank you for making it so informative as well. Learned a lot from you guys, and hopefully you do keep on joining us for streams in future as well. Do smash that like button, guys. Do click on that subscribe button, and do press on that bell icon so that you'll be notified for all the content that we will be putting out on YouTube. Do show us love, and do follow us on our Instagram and on our Twitter account as well. All our social media handles are there in the description below. We would love to have you become a part of our ever growing family on WhatsApp as well. So do please join on our WhatsApp group as well. Every day is match day, and I say this on every stream. You will not feel a minute of loneliness on that group. I can personally vouch for that fact. And with that being said, another the series of important games for Man United does not end right here. We have our big final on Sunday, and MESC Red Devils NCR will be screening the game on Sunday. All the details regarding the screening will be put out tomorrow. So please watch the space, and please stay tuned for that as well. We would want you to make that a memorable experience, not only for yourselves but for us. We would love to have you there in large numbers so that we can share the joy of United participating in a final together. With that being said, this is Delvin along with the OG gang, Sandeep Bhai,
Winning.
Avijit Bhai, enjoying. Let's get to that bridge when we cross that. That is what I would say. But yes, love the confidence, Sandeep Bhai, and hopefully it is a win on Sunday. Till then, this is the OG gang with me, Delvin, and Sandeep Bhai, Avijit Bhai, Ojis Bhai, wishing all of you good night. All the best for the game. May the best team win. Hopefully it's United. And till then, do take care of yourselves till we see you on another episode and another stream of MESC Red Devils NCR. Stay safe, stay healthy. GGMU. Goodbye.